In this video, I'm going to be showing you some very basic maintenance that you should be doing once per year that'll make your air conditioning run more efficiently, save you money, and hopefully last longer. And this is something a lot of people forget or ignore to do. What we're going to be doing is cleaning our air conditioning compressor and the evaporator coil inside the house. And this is something anyone can do very inexpensively. The first thing you're going to have to grab is a can of foam blaster. This is foam that you spray on the coils. I will have a link for this stuff, but you can also pick it up at your local hardware store. I've been using this stuff forever. Now, a new thing that I just started using is flow treat. We'll talk about why this is important a little bit later in the video when we move inside. So we're going to start outside by cleaning this guy off. And before we do anything, we have to make sure it's turned off and not going to power on. And most air conditioners are going to have a disconnect just like this one. You open it up, grab this handle, and pull. Now the unit cannot come on. I usually just put it up on top there. Otherwise, I always wind up losing it. So now that we've got the power disconnected, we're going to start by cleaning the compressor. Little science lesson. If you paid attention in science class in high school, none of us did, but if you did, you know that compressing a gas, which is what this thing does, makes the gas hot. But we can't be shooting hot gas into the house, so that's why it has all these coils. It's just like the radiator on a car. If you get gunk in between these fins, it's going to run less efficient, so we're going to clean it. Now, I'm using foam blaster, like I mentioned before. This is also the same stuff we're going to be using inside. You can pick this stuff up at your local hardware store. I'll also have a link for it down below. But we're going to start by spraying this completely down with the foam blaster. We're supposed to start from the bottom and work our way up. And this stuff foams up, so as you spray it in, it expands between. And now that we've let this soak for a little bit, we're going to go and blast it off with our hose. We're going to use it in the jet setting so we can get all the way in between all the fins, but you don't want to use a pressure washer. You could actually damage and fold over the fins doing this. Regular hose pressure is fine. And the next thing we have to clean is the other side of the equation, which is the evaporator. That's going to be usually in your house, in your garage, maybe in your attic. Just depends upon how your house was set up and how everything was built. Now, you want to do the same thing here is you want to disconnect power. Now, in my case, I have my power right here inside my closet, so I'm going to just unplug it. Now, one thing I do want to point out, and yes, I know this is very messy, but one thing I do want to point out is the pump. Now, your unit may have a pump like this, and that's because water condensation comes out, pools up, and gets pumped out. If you have a pump, I'd recommend leaving that plugged in just in case you wind up getting stuff down the line. It'll pump it out for you. Now, if you have a furnace, your furnace is generally going to be here. You have your blower here, blower down below, furnace here, and up top will usually be your coil. Now, I have this plate here that I got to get out of the way. And the way this thing is put in here, it's a very tight fit. Now you can see in here it's a very tight fit. I can't actually get that all the way out without removing that, and we're not going to do that. But in here, in there, that is your evaporator. That's where the refrigerant comes in, and then your air passes through that. So we're going to be cleaning that as well. Same process. That is a little bit trickier to get in here, but we're just going to come in here, do the exact same thing, and spray the foam all over those coils. Now, the neat thing about cleaning these is you don't have to hose them off. When you turn on your air conditioner, just like in your car, if you notice the water underneath it, this creates its own condensation, so it'll essentially rinse itself. That's what that condensation, that pump was for that I showed you before. Now, one thing I haven't been doing, I started doing recently, is putting flow treat. This is a little tablet you throw in the pan, because what happens is the water, the condensation comes off of those, runs down into your pump, and it gets pumped out of the house. And I have several times had sludge build up, clog that thing, and then had my whole unit shut down. So what this stuff does is it helps break down that sludge. So we're going to throw one of those in the pan. Now, you don't want to throw it up on the coils. We're going to put it down in the pan, and that'll help break down the sludge. And I'm going to show you one more quick tip also. This PVC pipe right here, running down to that pump we were talking about before, that is the condensation line. I have also had this thing get clogged up with sludge. So we're going to shoot some cleaner straight down it. That'll help break that stuff up and keep that pipe nice and clear so we don't have that problem again. So now I've buttoned it back up. We're going to plug it back in, and I'm going to run the air conditioner for a little bit to let some condensation build up on those coils and rinse everything down. But before you do that, this is a great time to check your filter to make sure your filter is clear, or replace it if you haven't done so lately. If you'd like a video on how to do that, leave me a comment down below. I'll make one for you. So now the outside unit's clean and the inside unit's clean. Now, I do want to say you don't have to do that inside portion as often as you have to do the outside one. I would recommend doing this thing at least annually, if not twice a year. That inside one, not as much, especially if you're running a good filter. You shouldn't be getting a lot of stuff on the coils inside. If you'd like to see that video on how to do your filter though, please leave a comment down below. I'll make one just for you. But if you got something out of this video, if you're gonna go out and service your stuff or want other information on home DIY stuff, hit that subscribe button, give me a great big thumbs up, and of course, thanks for watching.